Hello guys, how are you doing today? This is the 10th episode of Python tutorial series. So Python identity operators. Identity operators are used to compare the objects, not if they are equal, but if they are actually the same object with the same memory location. Okay. So operator is description returns true if both variables are the same object. Example is whether x is y. Let's try it. So x equals to this is the list apple banana and y equals to apple banana. X and y they have the same value, but they are not the same object because they are declared separately, so they have been assigned different locations in the memory. But when you say g equals to x, you mean that actually z and x they mean the same object at the same memory location. Okay. So when you will be printing like whether x is z, you will have true. Returns true because z is the same object as x. But when you take printf whether x is y, it will return false because although their value is same, but they are allocated in different places in the memory. Devices memory, that's what I mean. Returns false because x is not the same object as y even if they have the same content or value. And lastly, whether x equals to double equals to y, it means double equals to indicate whether they have the same value. Okay, they do not necessarily have to be at the same place in the devices memory, just whether they have the same value. Yes, x and y they definitely have the same value, that's why it will return true. To demonstrate the difference between is and double equals. Okay, so this have been this print whether x double equals to y, this has been presented only to demonstrate the difference between is and double equals, whereas is print of whether x equals to y, it returns false because they are not the same object but they have the same value. And when you take print of whether x double equals to y, actually it returns true because they have the same value. This comparison returns true because x is equal to y. I think it's a problem in the language. When they say x is equal to y, they actually mean the x and y have the same value. That's what. Now, next identity operator is not. Description is returns true if both variables are not the same object. Okay. So is not the opposite of is. That's what. Example is whether x is not equal to y. As you can see, x equals to apple banana, y equals to apple banana. X and y they are both objects, not objects, lists, and they have the same value. But since they are declared separately, so they have the different locations in the device's memory. But when you say z equals to x, it means that x and z they mean the same thing. They actually mean the same object stored in a particular place in the memory. So whether when you will be taking like print whether x is not z, since x is z, so x is not z, this will return false. Returns false because z is the same object as x. Now if you take print of whether x is not y, it will return true because y, although x and y they have the same value or content, but since they are declared separately, that's why they are not the same object, they are different object having the same content or value. So the middle print it will return true. Returns true because x is not the same object as y even if they have the same content. Lastly, we are going to see, just look at this one. When you take print of whether x is not equal to y, what does this mean? this exclamation equals sign, actually it compares the values. Okay, if x and y have the same value, I mean does not have the same value, then this particular thing will return true. So I don't know what is happening. X and y is equal in value or content. So x double equals y. That is true. If that is true, then x exclamation equals y, it is false. So although when you take printf whether x is not y, you get true, but when you take printf x exclamation equals to y, you get false. So this has been shown just to demonstrate the difference between is not and exclamation equals. This comparison returns false because x is equal to y in value. Okay, so how much time? 6 minutes 20 seconds, something like this. Python membership operators. Membership operators are used to test if a sequence is present in an object. Okay, operator is in. There are two operators, in and not in. Operator in description returns true if a sequence with the specified value is present in the object. Example x, whether x in y. Let's try it. X equals to apple banana, print of whether banana is in x. Yes, it is. So it will return true. Returns true because a sequence with the value banana is in the list. That's why. The next one, not in, returns true if a sequence with the specified value is not present in the object, target object. That's what they mean. X not in y. X equals to apple banana, print print of whether pineapple not in x. Pineapple is not in x, so this one will return true. Returns true because the sequence with the value pineapple is not in the list. Okay, now Python bitwise operators. Bitwise operators. Bitwise operators are used to compare binary numbers. Okay, operator is AND, name is AND. Description is sets each bit to 1 if both bits are 1. Then OR sets each bit to 1 if one of two bits is 1. One or both bits of the two bits is 1. Okay. Now what about XOR? Sets each bit to 1 if only one of two bits is 1. If both bits are 1, output will be 0. If both bits is 0, then output will be 0. If one is 1 and the other is 0, the output will be 1. That's what they mean. Not inverts all the bits. Less than 0, fill, left, shift. Shift left by pushing zeros in from the right and let the leftmost bits fall off. Do not know what they mean by fall off. Greater than, signed right shift. Right shift right by pushing copies of the leftmost bit in from the left and let the rightmost bits fall off. Test yourself with exercises. Multiply 10 with 5 and print the result. That's what they mean. Okay, so let's start the exercise. You know what sign are you going to use? It's nothing but asterisk. Then I click submit answer, and as you can see, it's correct. So okay guys, it was the 10th episode of Python tutorial series. I welcome you to watch the next one, which is gonna be the 11th episode of this particular tutorial series. So have a great time. Until then, best of luck.